Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to my channel, Soul Journey. My name is Beck. This is Rex. And today we're going to be doing an energy reading for the collective. Today is August 11th, 2019. We are a few days late from our normal reading, but I have just had a lot going on. 2 days ago was my anniversary, and we got to celebrate that yesterday, so that was really cool. We tried the Impossible Whopper from Burger King, so if you're interested in checking that out, that is my most recent video. All right, so today we are going to be using the Vintage Wisdom Oracle, the Starman Tarot, and the Universal Love Oracle. If you're interested in seeing the Starman Tarot in full, I did do an unboxing and first thoughts video, which will be up in a couple days. So if you're interested in seeing this, definitely hit the subscribe button so you see that in the future, and hit the like button if this message resonates with you, and comment down below and let me know. All right, let's get into it. So our first card today is abundance. So I feel like today and this week we're really going to be looking at our beliefs around abundance, how we feel about it, our belief systems around it. Right now on the planet, there is a feeling of lack mentality for sure, that our resources are finite, and that if one person has all of this, I can't have this. Now, in a 3D dimensional world, that makes a lot of sense. But in a higher dimensional reality where energy is infinite, it's not really quite the same way. And so if we create a space of where we all feel we can have our needs met, we can get that done. I really love the quote, "There's enough for everyone's need, but not for everyone's greed." And I feel like that's really important. And we'll note that greed does come from a belief of lack, because if they felt like they could have all their needs met, have everything, do all the things they want to do, they wouldn't feel like they had to hoard all of that, all those resources. So be aware of where greed is more of a lack mentality, ironically, than I think a lot of us realize. What's going to assist with that, or the light aspect of that, is compassion. There is some nudity in these decks, so heads up. Oh yeah, the Starman Tarot definitely has nudity. Heads up. Compassion. So I really feel like kind of what I was just saying was going to really help us about this concept of the lack mentality and our beliefs around greed on this planet is having a little compassion, understanding no one is born evil, but we are taught what we can and can't have on the planet. And some people go about that in a fear way. Some people go about that in a very productive way. Sometimes, in exchange for other people's well-being, rather for them not to have be in a good space. And so having compassion around the fact that we're all kind of in this lack mentality, we're just going about it differently. And so it's going to be about a collective shift in perspective when it comes to our needs being met. The shadow aspect of that is kindred spirits. So what I'm feeling right here is we're feeling a lot of separateness right now. We're not feeling like we have the support of the community or the collective to have all of our needs met. We don't feel like we can trust one another to capitalize on our best interests. So we're really feeling like we have to kind of be, me, myself, and I, dog eat dog world, to get our needs met. And that's inherently not a healthy way to function, because people are going to fall through the cracks. People aren't going to be taken care of. We're all going to be out for ourselves, and it's going to be really unhelpful. And as a collective conscious, as a social species, it's not really sustainable. So we need to really look at our belief systems around this right now. All right, getting into the tarot. So with that in mind, our main energy is the Tower. All right. So that is really, really powerful. So what I'm feeling like is over the next few weeks, coming into this next season, we're coming into election season here in the United States. The Tower is really about things falling apart so new things can come in. So as most of us know, what system we have isn't working. The belief systems we have around money aren't working. The way we take care of each other when it comes to financially and just abundance in general, our needs, isn't really working. And so right now the planet is really shifting those blocks, because we're going to have a new system come in. And I don't just mean in our country, I mean globally. We need to start looking at our resources differently, because some resources are finite and we seem to be thinking they're not, and other resources are infinite. and we seem to not be engaging in those. So it's really important that we acknowledge that the system is crumbling and kind of get on board with a much more abundant, understanding system of what really is sustainable. What's going to help us with that is Prince of Pentacles. Interesting. So I feel like with this energy, the princes are about forward moving energy, but each prince goes about it in a different way. The fire prince is very like move forward, like crazy amounts of energy. The Knight of Swords is, very swift. The Knight of Water is very, flowy and like this. The Prince of Pentacles, or the Knight of Pentacles, is really about slow and steady wins the race, but he does get where he needs to go, and he is very determined. He's also very grounded. So what's going to assist us in this is getting grounded, plodding along, making realistic decisions that are going to help us move forward, not having this hectic energy, not making crazy changes that are going to throw everyone, but saying, okay, this is our goal, and how are we going to get there, and really plot out a plan to create that to happen. What's going to hinder us? Hey Rex, what you doing? What you doing? Are you chewing on my necklace? There's nothing to eat in my hood. What are you doing? Okay. What's going to hinder us is Prince of Cups. Interesting. So I really feel like that means, oh, are you climbing down my shirt? Are you climbing down my shirt? Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? Here, go under there. You want to get under there. For me, this really represents for the hindering, being in stagnant energy, but also letting our emotions run away with us. I think she's chewing on my tag. Letting our emotions run away with us, but then not really moving through them. And also kind of stagnant energy, not really letting the tides turn the way they need to, where it seems everyone would feel most comfortable. And don't forget, kind of going back to the fear state, everyone feeling like they're out for themselves. A lot of people don't want to shift what we're doing on the planet financially, with energy, things like that, because they feel like they're going to lose something. They feel like their comfort level, what they have, isn't going to be doable. Especially, I think, the people who are behind it financially. They really believe that they are not going to have what they want. I genuinely believe that if everyone thought they could have what they wanted legitimately, and I know some people say they do, but we don't know what's going on internally. If everyone genuinely believed they could have everything they wanted, they could create whatever they wanted, be happy, because we believe our resources create our happiness, right? If we don't have this, this, and this, we won't be happy. If everyone genuinely felt they could be happy and their needs were met and they were loved, I don't think people would be as against things shifting. The religious piece comes in there, shaming certain aspects, believing that they're going to go to hell, whatever it is. There's a lot of story around why we need to have it this way versus this way. And like the Tower saying, this is not a sustainable situation. So really getting caught up in the feelings of it, but not really being proactive about like, let's make this work. So it's being a bit stagnant. What's going along with that is Queen of Pentacles. So yeah, we're not grounded in our abundance. We're not grounded in our beliefs that we can have what we need, that the earth is going to provide for us everything, or the sun, or the community. We really have a lack mentality going on. All right, so Spirit wants to pinpoint for us today the Empress. Well, that's powerful. So this aspect of abundance is huge. The Empress is about abundance, about being grounded into the earth connection, fertility. So I really feel like, Spirit is saying like, hey, there is abundance, but you're not engaging in it. You're not really allowing yourself to engage in that, but it's there. It's super powerful and it's super fertile right now. You just have to get out of your own way. Everyone can have what they need. The main energy for this group of cards is the Sun. Well, there's layers to that, right? So coming back into the happiness, that we can have the happiness, but also that the Sun is a huge source of abundance and power. Energetically, when it comes to power literally on the planet, energy, utilize the sun, utilize nature, the water cycle. I genuinely believe that all life comes from the sun. And I say that because where do we get our food from? Plants and sometimes animals. But where do the animals get their power from? From plants. Where do plants get their power from? The sun. This is where we all get our energy from. That's what we nourish ourselves with. The sun is the source of life on this planet. Now you might say it's water, you might see things like that, but if there was only water on the planet but it was pure darkness, no photosynthesis would happen. And I do feel like there has to be that balance. Water is the feminine, sun is the masculine. They come together to create life. So we really do need both aspects, but the sun powers everything. So really getting into that space of connecting into the sun, going out in sunshine. We know that when we don't have sun, we don't have vitamin D, we literally get depressed. Our systems don't work the way they need to. So be aware of that. So bring in the sun. A lot of cultures knew that sun worship was really powerful because they understood what the sun meant. It represents joy, it represents health. It literally makes our bodies run. We need vitamin D to survive. So be aware of the fact that maybe the sun is a huge part of how we need to shift. We need to get back to basics. We need to get back to the things that are never going to change in millions of years. Well, maybe one day it's going to do its thing. But for the foreseeable future of where we're at for the next several million, billion years, the sun's pretty constant. So we need to engage in that and start realizing that we need to utilize the abundance that we have and stop trying to deplete the resources that are finite and just kind of like let them be where they are. All right, now the last cards here are from the Universal Love Oracle, and we have listening. So I feel like we're not listening to each other. We're not listening to each other's fears. We're not listening to our planet. We're not listening to our own needs. If we had an awareness that we were a collective and that our grandchildren's grandchildren will also need this planet to survive, we would be listening to that future call. We'd be understanding that what we're doing to the planet isn't helping those people. We're not listening to the collective. We're not listening to the collective needs of everyone. And we're not listening to each other. We're not listening to the people's fears. We're not listening to the people's ideas. We're not listening. We're not being very compassionate to one another and understanding where we're all coming from. Because even the people who we may seriously disagree with, we're not really listening to why they feel they need those, the underlying beliefs and stuff. We need to be making those beliefs taken care of before we can move forward. Because we know when people are in a fear state, when they're in a space of separateness, there's almost no reasoning with people because they don't believe they will be taken care of by the universe, by the collective, whatever. So they feel like, no, I gotta defend myself and I have to protect what I feel is going to keep me safe. We need to be aware of the underlying belief systems and energies that people have and why they're making the decisions they are. And the last card here is Universal Heart. So I really feel like this comes back into really stepping into the belief of we are all one. Their needs are our needs and our needs are their needs. We need to start understanding that as a collective, even though we might be coming at things differently, we might be labeling it different things, we are all at our core human consciousness. We all have the same needs, we all have the same fears, we all have the same beliefs. Ultimately, we just feel like we need to get there in different ways. But we need to start recognizing the similarities within each other versus the things that make us separate. And ultimately, we all just want to have our needs met, be loved, feel safe, feel that we can really truly be ourselves. And most of the people that we see are fake really are only fake because they were never taught that they could actually be themselves and be, loved and, accepted for who they are. Especially a lot of the people in politics, they're these older generations who were raised in a time where their needs were not met. They were seen and not heard. And they're rebelling. They're a bunch of fractured children who are playing out this war within themselves and the war that they had with their parents that they haven't realized they're still trying to play out. And we're suffering for it. And we need to get compassion. We need to come together and say, hey, I hear you have a lot of fears. I mean, think about just like the immigration thing, the thing, taxes, people wanting their money. It's all fear-based. It's all the belief that if they come here, I'm not going to have what I need. I'm going to be taken advantage of. I'm going to be hurt. That is all fear-based. It's not inherently true, but it's easier to make rules and laws and feel safe when you feel like you know who the enemy is. But ultimately, the enemy is our belief that we are separate, or that other people are out to get us, or that if someone else has something, like a job, like money, that we won't also be able to have our needs met. This is a huge, huge thing. And coming back to the tower, this system is falling apart. It's not working. These belief systems aren't working. How we're going about it isn't working. These things need to crumble so we can have a new paradigm come in. And it is coming. All right. Thank you so much for watching. If this message resonated with you, please comment down below. And if it didn't, that's fine too. Just comment your review with love. And hit the like button if you liked it. And, thumbs it down if you didn't. That is totally fine as well. I like to hear people's perspectives, again, with love. Let's be open to communication. If you want to see more videos like this in the future, I try to do a weekly energy reading for the collective. I also do videos on working with spirit, shadow work, self-love, the spiritual journey in general, soul expansion, and then more personal stuff, my veganism journey with my partner, sustainable living, self-love. I think I mentioned that, but we need all the self-love. Our animals. We have a little kind of animal rescue thing going on downstairs. My plant collection, kind of whatever I feel inspired to do. I try to do videos on that every once in a while. We did, like I said, did I mention this? We did just do a review on the new Burger King Impossible Whopper, which is a fully vegan Whopper, which we're really excited. It was just released a few days ago. So if you're interested in seeing that, that is on my channel. It'll be the most recent video. Yeah, go check it out. It's very exciting times. Things are shifting. The paradigm is shifting. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to check out my other social media platforms, the links to that are in the description down below. And if you'd like a personal reading, there is a link to my Etsy shop where I do offer personal readings and other soul journey tools. So thank you so much for watching. Say goodbye, Rex. Say goodbye. Bye. It's starting to get into fall weather, so she's cozy. If you want to see more of Rex, you can check out my social media platforms. She's on there as well. So, and if you'd like to see more of her, let me know. I'll have her in other videos. Little footsies. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. Many blessings. Namaste. And don't forget, it is all about the soul journey.